T-Bro in the morning, Laura Styles, Rosenberg, A-Trak, Fool's Gold. Let's go.
Hey.
Let's go.
Yay.
Time flies. I can't believe it's already time for Fool's Gold Day off again.
Yep, every year.
Who's on it?
We got Migos, Joel Santana, myself, Lil Yachty.
I'm coming for sure.
Exactly.
I'm taking some photos right next to Lil Yachty.
Why are you still trying to pretend like you don't like Lil Yachty?
I
or
love Lil
don't-
Yachty.
Why?
Just gotta get his bars up. That's it.
Why does he have to get his bars up though?
He doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to.
What did
He's
he
really
tweet
good.
recently that you retweeted?
I don't know, something
Yachty,
about being
Yachty's
old.
got
or
bars.
something.
You know who
Yachty's
else
dope.
has bars displaying? Dave East.
Dave,
Oh, yes.
Mayhem
yes,
Lorenz.
If you ever
Mayhem
put Dave
Lorenz.
East and Lil
Mayhem.
Yachty in the same sentence again, we
That's
may
what-
not
but, you
ever
know,
be able to speak to you
Fool's
again.
Gold is the juxtaposition.
It is.
You know, Dave East, we have Mayhem Loren, Leaf. The Gas Lamp Killer, have you ever seen him? Incredible DJ from LA. He's kind of like the Jimi Hendrix of DJ.
Oh, my
He's
friends love
crazy.
him.
Wait,
What
talk
does
to me
he
about
do?
this.
What does that
is
mean?
this?
Yeah, talk to me.
He's just like, first
He
of all,
sets his turntables on fire and like gyrates on them.
he doesn't set. Well, actually, I haven't seen him set them on fire. Actually, actually, he does. He just has a really wild style. He's a turntablist. He scratches a lot, but also his selection is all over the place, and he's got this insane energy that he brings with him. He's just really dope. He's a performer.
Now, are the selections just all over the place, or he makes them make sense? Because I've seen both. I've seen people who are like, "Oh, he's selecting." I'm like, "But this doesn't."
Nah,
they
it
don't go
makes
together.
sense. It makes sense. He can drop just like some ill, like futuristic beats, and then some Jimi Hendrix record, and it just makes sense together.
If you're not familiar with A-Trak or Fool's Gold Day Off, you need to climb out from under whatever rock you're under, because Fool's Gold Day Off has done a great job of having everything from a Lil Yachty to a Dipset to a
Leaf.
French Montana to
Yeah.
Leaf, a new
Leaf,
artist from
Nick Catch
Brooklyn.
Dubs. Yeah.
Meek, yes.
But I was just for the audience that wants to kind of wrap their brain
Right.
around what it is.
Yeah.
We are living in a time finally where hip hop, sonically has many different sounds.
Yeah.
As well as many different artists that lead in electronic and other forms of music, which I love. So
Yeah.
What number of you do 4 every year so far?
It varies. This year we're doing 3 cities:
Okay.
New York, LA, Miami. Although, I mean, I may as well. So we're gonna do Atlanta later in the year. So yeah, there will be 4 this
You've
year.
done Atlanta before, though, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And it was successful.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, and it's a city where it feels good to go and put on a show because we listen to so much music from there, and then you go there and you realize that there's not many people that are kind of like trying to unite the scene. It's very much of a studio recording city.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of events that'll bring, those juxtapositions that we we're just talking about on the same stage. So me as a sort of outsider, I can come in and make those calls and get a few people on the same bill that don't get to usually play like that on the same bill. And we always, a lot of times the Fool's Gold will bring back some sort of throwback element. So just, as an example, like we had Fabo from D4L a couple of years ago, but then also like, Father or, and then some of the newer guys too. And just to put that together, like the 2-9 guys, but then, some of the more, Man Savage, 21 Savage,
Right.
the newer guys. Yeah.
Right. How do you feel, you as somebody who dabbles in everything from electronic to hip hop when you play?
Yeah.
How do you feel about where music is today versus when you started this? Because you were one of the early guys to start bringing this stuff all into one
Together.
place. And as a kid who grew up loving hip hop, you saw it early.
Yeah. I feel like now's a great time because people are more open-minded than ever to hearing all these different genres together. So, I started in the battle scene in strictly hip hop in the late 90s. And then by the mid 2000s, I started experimenting with bringing different genres into it, grabbing, like literally just handpicking a couple electronic records that appeal to my hip hop ear and mixing that with other hip hop records and then going more into mixing the genres even more. And with Fool's Gold, when we first started, we were putting out like the early Kid Cudi records or, Kid Sister was making like sort of up-tempo club rap, but also Cool Kids. And we really experimented with that sort of cross-pollination. And now I think the sonics of hip-hop are more left than they have been in a long time. A lot of people are open to weird beats. Weird is a good thing, which I like that climate,
Yep.
Because it's another way of saying creative.
And it also pushes the creativity and the boundaries of what's acceptable so that the culture stays healthy.
Yeah.
As much as I even give these young kids a hard time about what they're doing, there's a piece of me that loves it because being weird in creativity was always kind of, even back to a Miles Davis right?
Yeah.
Like you look at somebody like a Miles Davis who wouldn't even allow you to call what he was doing jazz. He didn't even like that. He wanted to be non-categoric. Is that
Yeah,
a
but
word?
hip hop was the exact opposite of that for so long, right?
Right.
It was like
Right.
if you're not hip hop, you're not. So that's why I find myself loving a lot of the kids too who would do all this weird stuff that you can't really
I like
put in a
it.
genre.
I like the energy. I like the experimentation. I like the forward thinking, but I don't always like the music,
Right.
which
And,
is
but you
fine.
don't and you don't always necessarily like that the experimenting happens, it's recorded, and then it's up, and that's what's put out. And they're like, it's perfect. It's like, well, you can
Yeah.
experiment and still put a little more work into
Well, you
it.
guys get annoyed when it sounds like a demo. When it
There's
just
a lot
sounds
of
like
demos.
super
Well, and I
shit
get
and stuff.
annoyed
Like,
when it's just not
Yeah.
not musically good.
Sure,
Music,
yeah, quality
like
control's-
sonically.
Yeah, the
good.
quality control is important, but still, like I think you made a good point that for a long time there used to be these rigid rules of what's hip hop, and like your jeans had to be baggy and your beats had to bang a certain way. But paradoxically, I think we all look back fondly at some artists who were experimental, whether it be a De La Soul or even like a Ultramagnetic MCs or groups like that really went left. Like people don't question those after the fact. But I think now,
and we should point out at the time, they were also questioned.
exactly.
Let's not
Like
act
people-
like
like
De La
history
Soul
forgets
wasn't
that.
made fun of.
Yeah.
Let's not act like PM Dawn wasn't made fun of. Let's not, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
and even all the way back to, like you say, Ultramagnetic, but you go to the Mantronics of the world, or even people making fun of when Planet Rock and all that stuff was not traditional in some regard. Like
And
it was
dudes were
all
wearing, like look at
halter
how,
tops and leather pants.
and cowboy boots,
Yeah, and cowboy boots.
leather
facts.
leather pants.
Yeah, seriously, very leather and very cowboy boots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was hip hop to some extent.
Facts.
Say that based on facts.
but in current years, someone like Danny Brown, who's been so important to Fool's Gold, I think has pushed the boundaries.
Oh
a lot.
yeah, absolutely. Danny's a fucking weirdo and,
Yeah.
and an awesome.
And even like
Right.
we're really proud of Run the Jewels also, who started on Fool's Gold. So that's what we try to bring, and that's what's been important to me. Like my career started 20 years ago, so now what I'm doing is more than just my DJing. Like my A-Trak career is just like sort of the vessel, the vehicle to allow me to do more. Like now what I care about is mentoring younger artists and putting on these events. At a Fool's Gold Day Off event, it's not really about the A-Trak set that much. It's about everybody else. And
No, you just kind of stay up there and play the role of keeping it all together.
yeah, and then I'll do a quick set where I just bring out surprise guests anyways, which
Right.
is like such a big part of the show now.
Yeah,
right.
that's
You know?
that's definitely the big surprise factor. And I also like the fact that a lot of people go to see certain artists, and you guys really tap into like what's super cool, and that not everybody will do the research for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you get the whole experience. You go, you see your favorite artist, and then be like, oh yeah, I heard of this guy, and then you actually see them put on a full
Well,
show,
that's the
which
thing.
is
Is,
tight.
yeah, I have a lot of friends who have told me that at Fool's Gold Day Off events was the first time that they've seen certain
Yeah.
artists that like a year later they'll see everywhere. Because even if you go back to the second Day Off show ever in 2011 when we had Juicy J play, when Juicy J was just going solo really for the first time, and then he brought out the ASAP Mob, and like that was one of the first times a lot of people saw Rocky. And then like a year later we had, I think it was a year later, those Flatbush Zombies. Now they're everywhere. So a lot of acts like that come to Day Off, and it ends up being like almost like a rite of passage. But we always like to have that, it's all about putting certain people on the same stage. Like to me, it's important to put Jewels and Dave East on the same stage. Even me as a fan, out of respect for Harlem, to be like, Jewels is
cool,
one era
yes.
of, like 10 years later, this Dave East has taken the torch in a sense. And also, just in previous years, to have like the Locks on the same stage as French Montana, who brought out Bobby Schmurder, which I think may have been his last appearance before going to jail. And like just all those eras together. What we do at Fool's Gold is curating, and Fool's Gold's run by DJs, as you know, and we approach our lineups almost like a DJ set. So even the set times, everything we really like handpick the way that we present it to you, so that it makes sense all together. You might look at a flyer and be like, wow. Like you said, like Yachty and Dave East on the same bill, like that's surprising, but we'll present it in a way that it all flows and makes sense.
So, A-Trak, how do you do at, and I should say, anyone out there who's never heard the full-length Juan Epstein interview with A-Trak, I strongly recommend it. Just Google Juan Epstein A-Trak. It's a really great interview.
It was a good one.
But
It was chewy.
It was very, we got deep into the, I don't know what he meant exactly by that, but he's Canadian. We don't understand. But we got
Chewy.
deep into the DJ talk. But speaking of which, so since you are a DJ, but you do like the big, balling out, Vegas-y, all kind of stuff DJing, you're in the circle with all the other DJs and DJs.
Yes.
How do you negotiate colleagues, some of which may not use techniques anymore, 1200s, but they use
A
controller or
yeah.
whatever, and they're really great. Controller, exactly. Or there are other people that use that stuff, and honestly, I know some are amazing, and you're like, wow, they're just using different technology, and some are really shitty, and they basically just play a CD and let it rock, and the
pre-produced.
Yeah, and the performance, the performance is more just the light show and the pyro because they already did it. How do you view this whole mishmash of what DJing is?
The thing that's interesting now is in the last couple of years, with the fact that electronic exploded, blew up so much in North America, there's DJing as a phenomenon is bigger than ever, but there's kind of this paradox where a lot of people don't even really know what DJing is. It's just everybody knows that there's DJs. Like, DJs are out there. They're playing these big stages. They're on billboards. They're in ad campaigns. What do they really do? Like, a lot of people are not sure. So, I kind of take it upon myself to put out a lot of information about DJing, and even just on my Instagram page, I'll write texts about the scene. I'll put up videos of myself scratching. But like you said, now DJing has morphed into a lot of things. It's not just one thing anymore. Even myself, certain sets, I'll use CDJs if that's the best thing for the conditions. If I'm playing like an outdoor festival with crazy sun or wind, I'm not going to stubbornly use my techniques and just
just
suffer.
on principle.
Yeah, just out of principle and deal with like wind and melting vinyl. So I adapt too, but certain DJs just sort of phone in their sets. A big part of what happened also is through electronic music, the producers kind of swallowed the DJs. Pause.
Big pause.
And yeah, sorry.
Such a major.
But, people make a big record, then they become known, and through that they get booked for DJ sets. But a lot of them at first literally don't know how to DJ. And
No,
they
they're
have to figure-
producers. They're not DJs.
Yeah.
They're performing producers.
Yes.
and
But
not DJs.
can we say the DJ, as it was known out of like Jamaican dance hall culture, wasn't always just the person playing the record?
True.
DJing a record was like literally disc jockeying, like the old 50s, 60s DJ who just got on the air and talked over the music.
True.
So it did kind of start, and then back to our original part of this convo where we started talking about boundaries and what's traditional versus people pushing it.
Yeah.
Even the term producer is used very loosely.
Super loose.
That's true.
Because a person programming a beat on an MPC is just a person programming a beat
True.
on an MPC.
True.
A producer is someone who makes the entire record,
and has the
arrangements,
vision.
and has the vision and the whole thing. The same way a producer of a movie is somebody who has the total vision, hires a director, and participates. Da 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 da.
Yeah, I happen to come from a branch of DJing, which is based on a combination of a certain technical skill and also the selection itself, rocking a party, reading a crowd. A lot of the newer electronic DJs, it's true, sometimes don't read the crowd. They have a set that's pre-done, and maybe it's not pre-mixed, but they just play the same order of songs wherever they go.
It's their set. They're gonna do this
but
set every time.
There's other dudes in that scene, guys and girls actually, who are incredible too, and who really do play in different approaches to technical DJing too. And it could even be on controllers and machines, but
Sure.
they're doing stuff that's intricate in their own way. There's a craft there too. You were kind of hinting of like, how do I have these friendships with different people?
Yeah, like how do you just because sometimes I find people I really like and then I see them perform and I'm like, oh, it's not really DJing at all. And by the way, I don't think the controller, anyone who hates on equipment is stupid.
No, yeah,
'Cause
it
equipment
has
makes
to-
no difference.
It has to evolve.
You have
it has to evolve.
So
We're not going to be the guys that you don't want to be the equivalent of like people who are mad at Bob Dylan for using an electric guitar.
Right.
Like, it has to evolve,
exactly.
right? But
it's about what you're doing with the equipment.
yeah,
I don't care
yes.
what you use.
I like to find value in everything around me, in the sense that like I never hate on a scene. I never hate on a genre. I'm not the person, a lot of people say like, I love everything except country. There's good country records. Like, or
I love
so
country.
other, yes, right? Other people will be like, I don't like techno. There's great techno records. For me, it's about finding the good stuff. Whether it's, maybe there's even an artist who most of their material is whack, but they have 2 great records. I'm not gonna say that artist is whack. I'm gonna say, what's those records that I can play?
Yeah, I'm gonna say most of your shit is whack, but you got 2 of these
got
joints
it banging
fire.
here.
Right?
But as it turns out, I have a certain attachment to turntablism still. And, when I came up, I made my name through battling. I won some world championships when I was a teenager. It's not the only way to get known.
Just know he won some world championships.
Just to put that out there.
You were like the youngest, right?
I was
he
the
looks
youngest.
5 years old on it. It's crazy. There's crazy.
seen the
It's
videos.
insane, bro.
I've seen the
looks-
videos.
It is
It
pretty
looks
funny.
like, where's your mother?
Yeah.
Oh, there. Yeah.
She was there in the crowd. Actually.
Exactly. Right there. She took him there.
It's not the only way to get known anymore, but I've actually been planning. I'm going to organize my own new DJ battle.
Love it.
In the next couple of months. It's going to be a DJ battle and a beat battle, and I'm going to be announcing more about it soon. But what's the way that I'm really approaching it is it's important to me to insert that in the current music scene, because somehow I think turntablism and this sort of technical branch of battle DJing somehow kind of stayed to the side. It hasn't fully coexisted with a lot of the new music that the kids who are into the culture are necessarily listening to. And I know it can all work together.
It can,
play
for
sets-
sure.
Yeah.
It can for sure be involved. That electronic stuff involves
Completely.
awesome scratching and shit. Like,
Completely.
it could all be there. And honestly, you
drums
guys
are
are the perfect
crazy.
people to do it.
The drums are crazy all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's for sure.
So that's part of my mission. I have a few missions. So part of
Well,
what I do.
speaking of missions, step over here, Leaf, real quick.
Right. Leaf in the house.
This young lady, I know her parents very well, and I remember when you had a band at one point. Now, Leaf is from Brooklyn, and she's got some bars. She's getting her bars together. She did a song with this guy, Lil Yachty. That's out right now. I don't know why this happened, but we'll let it.
Oh, it's cute. I saw the video. It's cute.
No, it's cute.
In stores now on Fool's Gold
On
Records.
Fool's Gold. But Leaf, when did you had a band? When I first heard about you doing music,
I had a band, yeah. I was in a punk rock band. I sang opera for 4 years. And then I just decided, fuck everything.
I'm gonna just start spitting these bars.
Yeah, I'm going to just do what I want. You feel me?
What's your background? What's your nationality?
Oh my God, it's complicated.
She black,
I am
Spanish. She's
Puerto
New York.
Rican. No, yeah, basically. I'm Puerto Rican, Irish, Russian, Antiguan, Dominican, and African American.
She black. You can try to celebrate all them flags if you want. It's black in America.
But my family from the lower is like all Puerto Rican. Like my grandma lives in Puerto Rico still and everything.
Lower East Side.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Lower East Side.
My family's like from like that's where we first originated in America and everything. So
Got you.
same apartments.
She was a badass kid for a long time.
I
Her parents used to try to get me to listen to her music. I was like, she's not bad. I'm not doing it.
I was bad. I got arrested from school.
It was
What'd she do?
It doesn't matter. It's not important.
I want to
She
hear
has
it.
she's got a
details
pure
are-
heart. She's got a pure heart. She's a good kid. She's a good kid. Now she's an animal. Now she's spitting raps and shit, hanging out with Lil Yachty and shit. She's at clubs that we're at. It's not.
What's the name of the record with Yachty?
It's called Nada.
And it's out right now on Fool's Gold?
Yep.
Digitally available?
Yes.
Digitally available.
I wanna
There's a
hear this
great
now.
Video.
It's actually good. It's actually really
You don't have
good.
to say actually. I believe you because I'm
Well, because Lil Yachty's
No,
on.
I'm becoming like a
Yachty fan.
I'm getting about a border on Stan.
Can we
big fan.
have discussion about the great parts of Lil Yachty? His very distinguished voice.
His voice tone is incredible.
incredible. His hooks, like if he just did hooks for a minute and got off trying
he
to
can
rap.
rap.
He can rap too, but his hook game is incredible. But he's just it's not even to me about his rap or whatever. It's just
His personality's great. His
Charisma.
personality's great.
everything he brings to a record. When he's on the record, you fucking know Yachty's on the record, and that's not true of a lot of people these days. He stands out. I'm a big fan. I'm excited to hear it.
How hard was it to get with him, or you already knew him?
Oh no. Well, actually, it's kind of funny. I knew his manager, coach, because I lived in Atlanta, and I sent them the song, and he already knew who I was, so he was like, "Yeah, for sure, she's dope," and it just happened really easy.
Are you like a SoundCloud artist?
Am I
Like, were you
SoundCloud?
like big on SoundCloud and all that when you
I
was putting out your records?
What really happened was I was in this whole Tumblr scene thing when I was like
Tumblr
16.
scene, I've heard of this.
Yeah, like
It's a thing.
all these like these social media scenes, and then I guess when I moved to Atlanta, kids already knew me, so like I was always out.
That was what your dad used to tell me. He'd be like, she's big on Tumblr. I'd be like, oh, fuck. What does that mean?
So
Yeah,
then-
you meant literally because you'd never heard of it.
Yeah,
So
what does that
it
mean?
mean?
What is that?
no, like on some crazy shit. Like I never was really.
You
active
cuss
on
now
some-
like that? Just in public?
Stop getting dad on her. Let her live.
This is crazy.
Leaf
I would
continue.
get like hundreds of thousands of retweets off of photos on Tumblr and shit. Like people just like on some weird shit, and I would.
You're
never
gonna keep
even know.
cursing. You're just gonna keep cursing. Now you're just gonna keep going.
I really don't even know when I curse.
Do you know your daughter curses like a fuck?
There's a cough button here that I'm gonna use.
It doesn't work.
I've always been a fan of cough buttons.
I know, and
on
then,
radio stations.
by the way, none of them at Hot 97
Doesn't work.
They don't
None
work?
of the call buttons work.
No, none of them work.
It doesn't make any sense because they're necessary at all radio. None work at Hot.
Do we need to call medical because it's a cough?
No,
I know, it's a bad call.
Here's the thing about Hot 97. Hot 97 is really the hood. Like, we're owned by a guy who just basically owns some radio stations. We're not like the level of some of these other ones. But because it's Hot 97, people think like we're the big conglomerates. He owns like 10 radio stations.
I wonder if the cough button works in any of them.
I was gonna say that.
Leaf, how old are you?
I'm 21.
And is Leaf your real name?
Leaf is my government name.
Leaf.
Yes.
Parents fucking hippies, yo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember when they named her, we were like, what? Why would you do that?
We just love leaves, man. Just like think about it, it's nature and leaves.
Fucking hippies.
And A-Trak, how did you two link up?
You know what's funny? My brother saw her on the Instagram Explore page and was like, have you seen this girl? She seems dope. And then I went and looked at some videos.
And your brother is who, by the way?
Dave from Chromeo.
Yep. Little note.
So she was on the Explore page. And then I went and checked out some videos, and the music was dope. And I knew, I liked who she was collaborating with also. And then I went to her Instagram and I saw that she had her own brand, MBM. So she was like making her own clothing. And I was like, oh, this is cool. She's already got a good following. She's an entrepreneur. And I could tell that she was already, an icon in the making. So I reached out.
Icon in the making.
Yep.
Thank you.
I said it.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, Leafy.
That's what we do.
All right, now speaking of Leafs, what is your IG?
It's
Ellie?
me, Leaf. ITS.
I want to see if it comes up right when I search. Yep, there you are. You're like one of the main Leafs that exist.
Wait, hold up. I don't follow you. How many
Yeah.
followers you got? How big are you? Really?
24,000 on Instagram.
That's pretty good. It's
good.
me, Leaf.
Yes.
There's A-Trak. There's Pro Era, A-Trak, Vashti, Leaf.
Oh, yeah, that was that boiler room the other day.
That was lit.
Oh, there was a boiler room thing the other day. It looks lit.
Oh, look at Stro.
I
Look
feel
at my
like-
man Stro. He
Yo,
hates my
Stro's dope.
guts.
Yeah.
He hates my guts too. I raised him too. He'll be all right.
Anyways, speaking of Leafs, what's up with your Juicero?
Aha! There we go. Oh, and you're drinking juice. I like that.
You know what? I see if you follow A-Trak on Snap, right? And he's always on his Juicero, which you learned recently.
Which is
may
not
per-
available in New York yet.
Okay, so what is the Juicero? Talk about it.
The Juicero is this fancy juicer that I found. It's kind of like this futuristic thing. And I'm kind of obsessed with it, in part because I was on a 3-month waiting list to get it. So when I got it, I was so excited. I started snapping about it. It's basically, you can make cold pressed juice at your house. You get these packs in the mail with the juice sort of prepared, like the produce is just chopped up in a pack. You put it in this machine, the juice comes out, and you throw the pack out. There's nothing to clean up, but it's fresh, cold press at your house every week. And I like the name Juicero, and I just started snapping myself making.
do.
Yeah,
Yes.
Juicero. I started snapping myself making this thing every day, and it turned into a thing. And now it's like this whole phenomenon. We're like, literally, I'll show up at a show, and people in the crowd are like, Juicero.
Now, hold on.
watch my
Have they reached out to you?
They have, but they're not. I don't have a deal with them or anything. Like, people think I'm endorsed. I've had endorsements. I've done ad campaigns. Put you like this: I've been in ads for Adidas, Grey Goose, Cadillac, Red Bull, whatever else. I've never pushed a product this way that I was actually paid
Yo,
for.
Ebro, you follow him on
I
Snap?
know.
His
But this
Juicero
thing-
love is different.
They don't endorse me at all, but it's all I talk about. I just think it's funny, and then it turned into a thing, and now I can't stop.
How expensive is the Juicero? It looks expensive. to be
It's
honest with you.
$700.
$700. And
For
how
the
much
machine.
are the packs of the?
The packs are like $5 to $7 each.
Wait, are we giving them more advertising
Yes.
now?
Well, maybe they'll send us one of the stations.
No, they're not. So it's a waiting list. He waited 3 months. And he
Yeah, but we're
more pumping
important.
than you.
He didn't ask. He didn't try. He's just giving it away.
We're important. Really?
Yes.
Juicero, holla at us.
Next time I come here,
It's not
I
gonna
want to
happen.
see a Juicero.
Yeah, I want
right
a Juicero right here. We'll put it in the screen. If we could have cold pressed juice all the time,
Be lit.
be kind of lit. Hold on, it's $5 to $7 for a pack that gives you one juice.
Yeah, but a cold pressed juice, if you buy it at the store, is like $10.
That's
Yeah.
true. So you are saving a few bucks. I
Yeah.
like it to be a little cheaper, but whatever. All right, sweet. Leaf, Juicero, A-Trak, the whole squad.
Fool's Gold Day Off.
Fool's
is
Gold
coming.
Day
by
Off
the
is
way,
Saturday.
Saturday.
Saturday on the 20th, we're bringing it back to Manhattan because Fool's Gold Day Off started in the city at City Winery. We were in Williamsburg at the waterfront for a few years. That venue closed. So now our event is actually at a heliport, which is kind of baller.
That is
Whoa,
tight.
where?
It's the one on the east side on 34th and the FDR heliport. I just
Lit.
love the visual of having like Jewels, Migos, etc. on a heliport
That's
with
tight.
like this, the skyline behind. So that's
That's
on
tight.
Saturday.
Yachty's so close to water. You know what I'm saying? It's where it's his home. He's a little boat.
He can look at little boats go by.
Boat can look at
Little
boats.
There you go.